Dr. Christy Ennis, physical therapist, nutritionist, and personal trainer. And today I want to talk to you about the best exercises you can do if you've got some bad knees. Now, knees can have issues for lots of reasons, whether it's arthritis, or you've got a meniscus problem, or a ligament problem, or a muscle problem. But the common theme for all of those things is that you need to keep things as strong as they can be and moving as good as they can. And that's not just the knee, that's the hip too. And the other thing about these exercises is that they are all standing. I've had lots of people recently say, I love those exercises, but I just can't get down on the ground. Is there something I can do standing? So that's what these exercises are going to be. So we're going to start with a little bit of a warm-up to actually help open up the hip, which again, that's part of that mobility or lack of mobility, and then moving on to some other strengthening exercises. So first, really nice, easy one to do, and you want to think about the core always when you're doing any of this stuff. So gently pull in that belly button, and you're going to add a little march. So now we're getting the hip moving, we're getting those knee joints moving, and you just use your best judgment as to how high you can lift those knees. And about 10 to 20 repetitions. Try not to lose your balance. If you need to, you can hang on to something gently. From there, we'll move on to bringing that leg over and across. Again, now we're working both legs. So we're working on getting some motion in this left leg, and this right leg is doing some stability and balance. Again, hang on to something if you need to, especially to start, making sure that that standing leg has a little bit of bend to it. And obviously you want to make sure you do these things on both sides, okay? From there, we're going to do a little hamstring lift. You can do this walking forward or standing in place, but because we are warming up here too, you don't want to just do a static hamstring stretch. It's much better to do what's called dynamic stretching, where you're actually moving, okay? So that's a great way to start warming up, and once we do that, we're going to move into a little bit of strengthening. So first one is a hip circle. So again, you're going to shift your weight onto one side, and then it's literally you're tracing. So you're not doing this kind of thing, which is great for pelvic motion, but we want to get that hip stability now going. And we're using that quad muscle a little bit. So you'll go 10 or so in one direction, and then switch and go 10 in the other direction. From there, you definitely want something to hang on to, a counter, a chair, relatively sturdy. This is not sturdy, but it's what I've got in my office, so it's what I'm going to use, and I'm going to be careful. But if you're standing on one leg, again, use that chair for balance a little bit, little bend in that knee. This knee is going to bend. Again, if you need to have it a little straighter because of some discomfort, that's okay too. And then we're actually going to shift that weight over to that right side a little. And then fire hydrant. A standing fire hydrant is actually what this is called because it kind of looks like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Sorry to be crude, but that is really what it looks like. From there, you're going to keep that leg up, and then you're going to add a little extension out, and you're really going to feel this here. Okay? And again, if you're starting to feel any discomfort in that knee, certainly you can hang on a little bit more or back off a little bit too. Okay? From there, again, if you need to use this, you can. You're going to go in what's called a split stance, and we're going to do a little bit of a deadlift. If you want to hold weights, you can, but you're going to go and from the hips, right? So I'm pushing my hips back as I come forward into that. Notice I'm not bending my knee a lot, and I'm not rounding into it. I'm pushing my hip back, so now I'm using those good old glute muscles that we all need to start firing more. And then lastly, and this is up to you, if you want to use a band, you certainly can. The higher up the band is, the less work it will be. So you're going to do a little side step. Notice my hips are both pointing straight forward, my feet aren't turning out, and I'm not leaning or dragging, so it's just a shift. Again, about 10 or so in each direction. If you want it to be more difficult, you go ahead and put that band right around the ankles. And to increase it even a little bit more, if it feels okay on those knees, you can even almost sit back into a squat a little bit and then add that same side step. So again, all of these can be done with weight or without weight, with a band or without a band, because sometimes people tell me that that's an exercise in and of itself, just getting this darn thing on. But a really nice routine to follow to work on strength and mobility without having to worry about getting up and down from the ground or causing pain. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Stay tuned for more and check out my website at drchristianis.com. Thanks.